and kind of open gold spots. So I think that plays quite aggressively, and I gave the go. I'm ready to see how this best of 5 is going to play out. Secret against Frantic. Show me is waiting in the grand finals.
Yes, sir. All right. Game is starting, and there we go. So, welcome, everyone. I'm here together with Nilly. My name is Dem Eyes Red, and we are gonna watch Secret versus a Frantic here. And we're gonna start in the south with the Viper with the Mongols, and his teammates on the right hand side is going to be Doubt with the Chinese. Then on the other team, we start in the north with Tim Spanish, and then on the left hand side, Vivi with the Chinese.
Okay, and we already had the pleasure to see Secret play this one out, and well, they had exactly the same civilizations. Viper with the early aggression, Doubt with the beautiful boom, and some crossbows after that. Viper now with kind of a weird start here, getting onto deer instantly, not going for any goats. Not sure if that was a small mistake or if that was his build order. But we're seeing other civilizations that they're facing this time. We will see Tim with the Spanish.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. Spanish, of course, strong civilization with a lot of possibilities. Then again, just thinking in the hands of Tim, what could be used with that? What could happen with that one? Of course, the other player is going to be Vivi with the Chinese. Therefore, I assume that Tim maybe wants to go for some early action. That would be maybe the best idea. That being said, later on, of course, the question will be what kind of units to go for. Is he going to make use of his castles? Is he gonna go for some knights instead? I mean, it makes sense in this 2v2 matchup, but definitely didn't expect to see Spanish, but not that much of a bad decision. What do you think?
Well, Tim, he can surely tower rush quite nicely. Kongs could be so deadly on this match as well, and on this map as well. And yeah, I don't mind it. Gives you the option to have Mongols on other maps later on.
Yeah, exactly. You said on the previous game matchup as well. We have to view it in a strategic way as well. You choose a civilization, maybe later on you want to choose another better one later on in a different map. So that's definitely a thing to keep in mind. So looking at that one, interesting to see about the Viper and his start. He's currently also in the middle already, just like the others. Question mark? Nope. Just Doubt is doing that one as well. Tim is about to place his mill as well. And Vivi, yeah, he's gonna do this as well. Okay, they're there as well. Okay, good.
Axing some more deers that want to have some more vision. The Viper scouting in between himself and Doubt. And well, they're just seeing how they will expand later on in all the free food. What will we see from Tim? He kind of gave us some options. He now has 3 onwards. I'm still expecting something of the likes of a Trash.
Yeah, just really ask myself as well. With 3 villages on, what there does he even want to? I don't want to go that far and say that he wants to go for scouts, but definitely with the Spanish, he has thought about something, and if he wants to go forward as soon as possible, we'll see how successful he's going to be. Because first of all, Viper is going to click up the earliest with the Mongols, of course. Then again, it's about Tim to actually take the spotlight on his side of the team as well with some early action. Curious to see. But from Viper, as expected, going up first, probably with some action to keep Doubt safe for now.
A lot of access, a lot of team communication. They really know, damn, it is on. There's obviously a lot of prize money on the line. They want to increase their lead here, especially Frantic. They're kind of a direct opponent contesting the top 2 spots. If Secret was to go out here and Frantic was to win this whole series, would get really, or the whole event, would get really close now in a kind of 3-team run. So Secret obviously trying to prevent that. And look at Tim. That's a lot of aggressive villagers.
A lot of aggressive villages, 3 of which most likely going for the stone. But yeah, the rest is quite clear here what's about to happen. Nevertheless, Doubt is going up as well, and even tiny bit earlier than his opponent there. Still, it's going to be towers by the looks of it. And that being said, still a long way to go still. He needs to actually hurry up unless I'm completely misunderstanding something here with these villagers on stone. We'll see when they will move out.
I'm surprised as well that they aren't really at Doubt's face
Yeah,
already. Doubt, he
just
sees
like
that,
now.
and
Yeah.
he might be scared. Look at that. He's sending his horse back because he knows, oh
Mhm.
god, Tim, he has to be basically in front of me. And, well, Tim even sending a low HP villager here to the front. Small mistake by him. Even queues up the barrack a bit earlier. That's not as super sharp as we're used to see from him.
Definitely, definitely. The timing of the barracks, and then um, the villagers themselves. They, like you said, at the point where I've mentioned it, they should have been in front of the goals, basically, but they're not there yet. At least they're there. They're placing the tower just now. There we go. Question now if Doubt is going to deal with it adequately. We'll see. The Viper has joined the game as well. He's there with his scout to annoy the villagers. Stonewall's even being utilized from Tim. A lot of stuff happening already.
Oh, and the Viper, he's trying to micro this. Doubt he only has 5 villagers to defend this, and that won't be enough against the 6 aggressive villagers of Tim. And Doubt, well, he needs to go back now. They did some damage against the villagers, but no defensive tower, archery range somewhat there as well. And the scouts of Viper did not too much as well. This is not the worst start for Frantic.
Definitely, I'm quite surprised about Doubt's reaction here. Reminds me of some previous games that we've seen today. This passive type of gameplay here. Doubt is just allowing this one to happen. 2 goals are now denied. So looking at the other goal situation here for Doubt, immediate goal situation. Well, he knows about the goals in the south as there've been some flaring in the beginning of the game. Still, allowing this one to happen like this, comfortable situation for Tim, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, he got 1 kill, 0 losses so far, more towers, and kind of walling in the archery range here. And that will be tricky for Doubt then. He wants to get some archers out, obviously, but, well, needs to run a lot first. Another defensive tower by Doubt, and those archers, they will be trapped. Oh, lol, look at that.
Oh my god. Ah, deleted the arch range there. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, but getting more houses up, and, well, he's getting away with 2 of them, 2 HP and 19 HP.
Was it
Meanwhile,
worth it to
Viper,
delete the arch range then? I
well,
mean,
he can never use the archery range anyway, so
exactly. It
I
was
don't
gone
mind it.
anyway. All right, so that's better than nothing for sure. In the meantime, the scouts of Viper, I've thought that it would be a great idea to go for Tim's base. Unfortunately, though, from the point of view of secrets, the quick walls of Tim were on fleek. Everything now secured. Therefore, Viper forced to actually do something else with his scouts. Currently going to the center, maybe meeting up with Vivi there and engaging. There we go.
Yeah, he has bloodlines, so and more numbers, so that's a good fight for him. Vivi with a big slip up here, taking quite some damage. Viper has to be happy with that. Is 4 villagers behind though, so let's see how he will transition into Castle Age compared to Vivi. Both should be pretty much at the limit, and Viper the whole time with the bloodline advantage.
Yeah, it's quite often a good move with the bloodline advantage. Vivi didn't expect it, apparently. Just engaged, lost the scout over there unnecessarily. Also, looking once again at the situation inside of Doubt Space, who's about to lose his stones, even, if you look at that one. It's just also quite unfortunate. The tower is going to go up definitely earlier than the one of Doubt.
Oh, we see big engagement now here from Viper trying to commit against all the villagers. 2 spearmen going down, continues to do the damage, villagers as well, and Viper, well, that is quite some damage output. Vivi at the other side with his scouts now coming back home, but those were some heavy losses. Viper, he has to be happy with his scouts so far.
Yeah, that's a crazy engagement. There's so many villagers dying like this, a lot of idle time. Ooh, even the last villager they're dying. That's some incredible value of his scouts. Well done. Sick move there. Vivi is hurt a lot. That's definitely evident here.
Meanwhile, Doubt is trying to tower defend against Tim here. Won't really happen. Villager, oh, actually going down from Tim, quite surprising to me. And, well, seems like Tim's trash just continues. Doubt not dealing with this to full perfection. We see now the scouts trying to give some payback here from Vivi towards the Viper.
Exactly. We have the engagement over here taking place. The spearmen are involved as well, so therefore both of the scout armies are best advised to be extremely careful. A lot of micro is required. The spearmen are poking at each other still. The scouts are now moving, maneuvering. No real engagement happening for now, but this can change any second, and there we go. The engagement is about to happen.
Oh, and this has to be so much better for the Snake here. He has Bloodline soon to have +1 defense as well. Yeah, Spearman numbers are 2-2, at least that's what it feels like, 1-1 at the actual battlefront here. And Vivi with another bad fight. Why is he not retreating, trying to get Bloodlines for himself?
Yeah, that's the real question, because we gotta ask ourselves this question, as he is trying to commit into scouts himself as well. So why don't you just step it up just like your opponent, or at least adequately? Yeah, Bloodlines +1 for Viper is so strong, and definitely Vivi with a disadvantage, though he tries to trust the Spearman.
Well, Spearman production really is on point, so that's good for him. Yeah, it loses another one. Oh, Vivi, now he squeezes through with his scouts. Let's take a look, can he find a hole? And Viper even up to Castle Age, and Vivi is at 80 food. How did that happen? Viper's eco just so good with all the extra deer.
Yeah, that's I mean, the comparison Viper versus Vivi economy-wise, sick stuff for sure. He's gonna have such a huge lead here. Maybe Vivi is gonna be surprised to start mid, but before that one, Vivi still is able to get a couple of villagers there off Viper. That's better than nothing. Definitely better than nothing.
But is it really enough? The last villager will be saved at the right-hand side. Vivi now goes for wheelbarrow, more spearman aggression. I think Vivi, he really needs to make something happen. Meanwhile, it looks somewhat good for Tim. Let's take a look at his resources. 500 food, 600 gold, can click up to Castle Age any second. And Doubt, he starts to sling the snake.
Oh, okay. Okay. Slaying the snake. This means that, there we go, just checking out the resources of Viper, what kind of resource income he has. Just gold. So being slung like this, being the Mongols, I would just wonder what kind of strat he wants to go for. Especially that he's not on stone for now, but probably Doubt is. Check it out. No.
Yeah, Doubt is on gold in the south.
Asking myself
moment.
what Viper wants to do with that one.
Well, just mainly goes for more knights. He has 2 stables. Oh, but now I see some villagers moving forward. Vivi, he's trying to tower that gold spot.
Okay. I understand. He has enough spearmen to actually protect himself from the scouts. This could work. TC from Viper is about to go up though.
Yeah, it isn't the TC. I was just the TC here. Because that's an aggressive one. Yeah, knight is around and the tower will go up, but most likely the TC as well. This is a ballsy one by the Viper, but I think it will work out.
Yeah, it will be a slightly bloody one. A couple of villagers will bite the dust eventually, but the TC will go up regardless. At least Viper is going to commit. He's going to use all of the villagers needed for that one.
Whew. Okay, one villager going down. Spearman did some nice aggression, but that's a lot of lost time here as well. Thing is though, Viper with his sling, and he will go for massive amount of knights. Tim, he could do pretty well against that if he gets onto enough conquistadors.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, he's on stone anyway, as he wants, as if he wanted to go for the trush. He did go for the trush, and therefore, of course, with that much of stone that he had, building a castle currently, he's gonna pull this one off quite nicely. Where's he gonna place it? Ooh, just in front of the TC, to the right inside of Doubt's TC. And that being said, yeah, definitely Conquistadores versus Knights. I would love to be the Spanish in this case.
Oh, I don't need the Spanish if you don't lose a lot of your villagers. It seems like Tim can wall this off. Seems to be fine at home. Viper, he tries to find another angle for now. Vivi, meanwhile, he seems to be fine as well. Is on stone, is on gold. Yeah, Archers of Doubt, somewhat annoying, but not really getting the kills off. I cannot really call who's ahead here.
Yeah, really, it's just so many losses, so many wins on each side. It's really questionable. Vivi with even the attempt of walling in the stable of Viper. Interesting stuff that is happening. It's really about to be determined who's going to win or who's going to be favored here or not in the next few minutes. The castle is now up by Tim, by the way. The Kongs are in the making. Let's see how successful they're going to be, because they are right in front of the villages of Doubt.
Oh man, and Doubt, how can he defend this against Conquistadors? He's just so open. Viper now needs to focus quite a bit. Did rebuild his CC, well, 2 screens down. Lost his complete wood line. Villager super exposed. I think I like the position of the Frantic boys here.
Definitely, especially because Dowd is about to lose his entire food eco. He has a new TC, let's say, in the south, which he has the control over the woods and even a bit of gold, but not for too long anymore, because at least the conks are there, though Viper is trying to engage with camels.
Viper, he has husbandry, something that Tim does not have, so his knights will be better. Vivi going full camels, as you said. I think Camel Conquistador could be a solid army here against whatever Viper's bringing to the field, who's now going for fletching and switches heavily onto stone. That's a Mangodai switch.
Yeah, I think this one makes sense. Mangadai will be probably the strongest unit choice to go for in our take on the fight. Still, really, yeah, what you say about this one? Quite a tough situation for Viper. He needs to deal with 2 extremely strong opponents now. Camels, even Knights, and Kongs. It's going to be a huge variety to deal with.
But how can he do that? At the moment, husbandry is really, well, the great thing for him. Conquistador numbers not that scary this far. And Tim, maybe if he gets to 6, 7 Conquistadors and husbandry, he can make something happen beautiful for TC here for Tim. Close to gold and berries, well protected by all the towers as well. Villager count better for Frantic as well. The only thing for Team Secret is that they have a very strong Mongol player now with the castle up any second and the chance to go for Mango Dice.
Yeah, that's that. Just checking out what is happening inside of the base of Tim. Just the knights there, they are able to deal the damage. This is quite important. As you said, it's just economy-wise, Viper does well here, but all in all, it is Frantic doing better in comparison. That being said, of course, it is quite important for Secret to go for some counter raids, and there we see it is happening, though not for too long anymore. Viper is now retreating, one knight even being converted. Question is, how soon can Secret strike back again?
Oh, well, they just got a lot of stuff rolling for themselves there after that big raid. And how soon can they strike back? Well, maybe they'd feel stabilizing, getting Imp onto Elite Mangodai might be enough. They don't really need to strike back pretty soon. Let's take a look. Tim is now going for the next attack. Horrible first move here. Conquistadors, 2 conversions against him. Oh boy, and losing so much. That couldn't have gone worse for Tim here. Ugly spot. Just moved in with 5 Conquistadors. That's normally the spot where you out-micro your opponent. And he just lost so much.
No, that was slightly disappointing there, to say the least, and I didn't expect this. So, as I said, the numbers were actually alright for Tim, and the Monks were successful. Bad engagements. Therefore, good situation for Secrets. They can work with that one now.
Somewhat ambitious castle here by Vivi. Won't really happen. Viper going for another defensive castle, and Vivi, he doesn't have the greatest resources to go up to him too quickly, so every aggressive castle he will build should be just trapped down by the snake, who is now researching Imperial Age.
That's really good. As you said, if he goes for Elite Mangodai, it could be even working. Could be a decent situation as long as they're able to hold on until Imperial Age and get this huge Mangodai army going. And currently they are in production. That's good. The more we see of them, of course, the stronger Viper is going to be. And Viper and Mongols is always a good situation for Team Secret.
Agreed. And well, Elite Mangodai, as we all know, incredibly strong unit. Did get some nerfs in the old days, but still feel pretty strong. Monks in the back could get some nice conversions off. Pikeman could do some damage, and it just feels like Tim, with his Conquistadors, he never really was able to deliver the damage that we expected.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing for Frantic, because I believe that they counted for that one. Go for a Trush, and then if there's the momentum, go for Castle Age, drop the castle, go for Kongs. But there is where the plan ended. It just wasn't executed well. The Kongs are not able to deal the damage, make the difference, and now there's a momentum actually for Viper to become really strong and deal with the situation.
And how do you stop those Elite Mangodai? I don't really see an option. Viper, does he go for his 3rd castle? feels like, oh no, look at that, 1k stone still in the bank. Yeah, we see some more aggression from Tim in the back now. Doubt might lose his CC, mass conversions here. And Viper, think he will stabilize. Solid resources for him as well.
Yeah, at least Tim was able to get these important kills. Monks are down. But the Kongs, of course, will struggle against the Mangadai here, at least if the numbers are equal. It's up to Viper and his micro to deal with that situation. Still, there are some chances, and Tim is going forward, by the way. Oh, he's building more towers than front of the base of both Doubt and Viper, interestingly.
Yeah, I think towers makes a bit more sense than castles. First of all, he doesn't even have enough stone for castles, but, well, it just distracts traps a bit more, and, well, Viper, he only has so many castles at the moment, so trap production and Mangadai production, something that he cannot really do at the same time.
I gotta say though, I like the numbers of Kongs for Tim. Was quite nicely done that he at least stepped it up number-wise. Question is, of course, how successful is he going to be? Because there's another castle now going up for Viper to the left of the new tower of Tim. Doubt is suffering, of course, but is it going to be the changer now? Is Viper strong enough for now? He has enough TCs. His economy is quite okay, quite strong, 91 villagers. So I believe that he actually has the chances, though Vivi also going for the next age.
91 villagers, but 20 of them idle, a lot of them under a lot of threat, so I don't like his eco too much at the moment. Couldn't really afford elite Mangodai. I don't really know where he can move out at the moment. Is clearing up some ramps in the north, while Doubt is losing a lot of his own villagers, and that's some form of the backbone of his eco. So Viper, although he's getting slung, very defensive play by him so far because he's forced into it.
Yeah, he's definitely forced into it, even dropping another castle in the middle there. It will be denied even. There we go, the Kongs are there. A couple of Mangadai are arriving, but that's definitely not going to be enough. And that being said, Viper definitely in a super defensive stance, going to give Vivi the opportunity to go forward even further. He has a set of monks prepared, curious to see what else he's going to offer. But that's pretty much it. Looking at the minimap, it's just Team Secret being surrounded at this point.
Oh yeah, and more towers. That's just so sick. Guard tower here. And let's take a look. Vivi, if he just goes onto mass trap, mass elite skirm, Viper doesn't really have good answers to that at the moment. Just goes for mass Mangodai. Yeah, he will get a forced castle up. Will have a lot of traps on his own. But I think the push of Vivi looks pretty strong.
I think so as well. I mean, for now, in comparison or just in relation to everything that's happening, Tim is just buying enough time for Vivi to nicely set up his doings here. The castle is going to go up. The skirmishers are there. They're about to be prepared with Bracer. Elite Mangadai is going to kick in for Viper, though. So also that one. Excited to see how this is going to evolve, though Vivi has a decent spot.
Yeah, Vivi, he just got enough time from Tim. Because Tim was around, did do those Conquistador ratings, did get all the towers up. Viper needed to defend their skirmishers now even coming over. Not 100% sure if that's the greatest engagement ever. Look at that, weird time that we ever see favor and elimination researched here. First of all, that quickly and also at the same time. And Vivi, he has a lot of monks working in his back. Forecasters at the moment for the Vipers. Finally, elite Mangodai. He needs to get some good engagements. Population look very nice at the moment for Team Frantic.
Yeah, looking at this, I mean, Doubts with 35 villages there, not really a huge, significant part of the game there, to say the least. And then also just asking myself about Vivi now. You've mentioned it, a lot of monk techs kicking in at the same time, a lot of monks in the making. Is it going to be the move of the moves from Vivi? Is it going to make the difference here? For now, though, the trebuchets are doing their best to take down these castles. And that being said, it's about Viper now maneuvering his Mangodai, but currently also Tim is still part of the game as well, trying to keep Viper busy at the same time.
Yeah, not really sure what's Tim's tech switch. Yeah, he's indeed tech switching now to Cavaliers. Makes so much more sense than staying on Conquistadors here against Elite Mangodai. And it's just trap against trap. And you mentioned the monks earlier. I think they're just leftovers from the Castle Age and now gaining some more upgrades. Don't really think that he built too many more here to fight against mass elite Mangodai. Shouldn't really work that way.
I think so as well. It's just how it is for now. Though Vivi has just lost his castle there, so at least Viper was successful in that kind of way. The skirms are engaging as well. There's some siege from Viper though. The Mangonels are getting some good shots. Uh, Not sure if Vivi is actually going forward that successfully.
At the moment it's gold efficient, and as we
Yeah.
see, it's like 70% map control, or wait, more like 80% against 20% map control. So in the long run, starving them out of gold is kind of an option. But, well, you need to win fights a bit more. But just look at the populations, 130, 140 against 130, 140. And, well, I said one too much there. So, yeah, it's 100 difference in
Exactly.
population.
I got you. I understood. And you're absolutely correct with that one. I mean, it was a gold efficient fight for Vivi, though. I mean, the facts are now Viper is able to move to the front, even though, of course, map control wise, definitely something is about to change very soon. The shift that you've announced as well, +4 defense for Tim is going to kick in, Cavalier is going to kick in, keep even in the making for Tim. Even though Tim is about to lose his castle there, it's not, I mean, it's still important for the sake of his protection there, but the stables are there in order to produce more and more soon-to-be Cavaliers, and then I think Viper is going to be kept busy once again.
Well, let's see how busy he will be. At the moment, he's pushing moves out a bit with his Mangonite. I think a more one-dimensional push towards Vivi could be good. Mangonel, is he getting a good shot off against the skirmishes? Not really. Now moving towards it, and Chokanus are taking care of it. Secret is losing game number 1 here. What
Ah,
happened?
there we go. Interesting, interesting. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I'm just thinking, yeah. So Doubt has decided, or Team Secret has decided to go for this thing, and Viper just couldn't make the difference anymore because both Vivi and Tim were, let's say, consistent enough with their push. There was just little time for Secret to breathe, to be precise, and therefore they've been kept busy and kept in a compact spot for a longer period of time, resulting in a GG eventually.
It is like so ugly to play against the Spanish tower rush, right? He's just getting the
Yeah.
towers up so quickly. There were 2 scouts of Viper around. Doubt fought off with 5 villagers, and still they couldn't deny it. What are your options? Running away, trying to get some defensive towers up yourself. Doubt didn't really have the greatest stone spots for that, and maybe pull more villagers, but he didn't have any around because he was basically mainly on wood. Some villagers hunting in the south, so it was only the 5 villagers. It is super tricky, put out, and Tim with a very strong play there.
Yeah, we in the beginning we said, what's this time, the timing of his barracks and the towers, but all in all it worked. It was some super strong push, a lot of villagers involved. For the sake of towers, it has worked indeed, and later on even castle and so on. Good move.
Yeah. Also, Doubt, he was kind of confused, right? He did scout the first stone mining camp here, and he saw
Right.
like 9 or 10 villagers, and he was like, how is this guy having 9 or 10 villagers on the stone? He must like send 10 villagers as well to the front and just go full YOLO. And then he scouted and then missed that, okay, he pulled 6 villagers away from that and only then went forward. We kind of called it the late timing, which kind of threw Doubt off as well. Not his mistake.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much a decent description of probably what has happened like that.
Okay, and now I'm curious to see what the stats say.
Yeah, me as well. Me as well. So pretty much as expected, I would say. Viper, the military count there, units killed 208, because he was the one being slung. He had a huge army, first knights. I mean, towards the mid game and end game, and then of course the Mangadai. He's worked a lot. He has protected himself a lot, his team, so to speak. But in the long run, it was not enough, as yeah, the push from both sides were too much of a strong force.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And Tim, he did waste his first conquistadors, but the second wave did so much. And my conquistadors, they might be the most cost efficient unit in Castle 8. And once Tim gets onto them, kind of uncontested after the 25-minute mark, it was just a beautiful, easy play for him there. And Viper couldn't really deal with that anymore.
Pretty much looking at the resources economy wise, Vivi had great resource income, uh, quite strong there, food and wood, really great stuff. And Tim, as expected, with most of the stone. Though Viper also not to be underestimated. I mean, he used the castles, he needed them. Also, gold-wise, Viper did a great job. His output was quite sick, and with the help of Doubt, of course, quite sick. And that way, we would have said, okay, there's a chance of Viper having some kind of possibility to go further. But in the long run, it was just Vivi and Tim.
Yeah, better eco for them as well. They played this quite nicely and didn't die to Viper, who went onto a lot of cavalry there in Castle Age. Nice defense, but they also had a solid advantage going into Castle Age.
Exactly. I'd say so.
Okay, so step is in the books. Now I'm excited to see how Mount Fuji will play out, and we'll give the ready.
All right, game is starting.
Jumping into game number 2 of this best of 5 series, let's take a look how Secret will play it out here.
There we are. All right, so this time, I actually forgot who I start with last time. I'll just start with Vivi here on the left-hand side with the Slavs. Uh, nice civilization. His teammate is going to be in the south here. That's Tim with the Mongols. And then on the other side, we got Viper on the right-hand side with the Portuguese. And then Doubt in the north, and also quite close to Vivi there, by the way, with the Slavs as well. That's the current constellation on Mount Fuji.
Okay, so Mongols saved from Tim to play them on Mount Fuji here. Kind of the player who has to go for the archers and later on maybe Mango dice. Slav players, we're obviously expecting mass scouts from them. And Viper playing with the strongest civilization in the game, the Portuguese.
Yeah,
And I have no idea how you can lose with Portuguese. Viper, this should be an easy win for him.
exactly. There's no other way that he could just win this one with the Portuguese. No other scenarios possible. That being said, though, decent combinations of units, of civilizations. I mean, Portuguese, Slavs, Slavs, Mongols, more of a conventional one. Really, with the Portuguese, we've had it in the previous matchup. They have some advantages in the beginning of the game, free cartography, and then even later on, just thinking how they could be utilized, and especially in the hands of Viper, probably many people know, but still curious how this game will evolve. It's still regardless a 2v2 setup. And on Mount Fuji, we got some really exposed golds in the long run of the game, and also stone towards the middle of the map. And that makes me curious how everything will evolve. And yeah, pretty much my thoughts about this one. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, you can wall this off quite okay. So Drush FC is a good option, really strong for Portuguese for sure. And well, we will see. Viper, his map looks just really wallable, and Drush FC absolutely an option. Didn't properly scout his back just yet, but we'll see the remaining sheep and maybe mass scouts from Doubts to buy himself some time. Tim, Rush FC a bit more tricky with his gold spot, but well, absolutely possible as well if he just walled a bit more openly. I don't think we will see too many archers here in Field Age.
I don't think so, I don't think so neither. Especially the maps here. So, I mean, the one of Viper is just super easily being walled. The others though also decent. I mean, because of the woodlines, most importantly. Regardless, the gold position, for instance, of Tim, as you've mentioned, bit of an awkward one, but still, that's the current situation. And still, we got two Slavs players here. And you said it, mass scouts could be a thing here. And why is that? Because Slavs, with the strong economy, with the strong farms, just ask myself. Not asking myself, just curious to see how fast Doubt's going to be up in order to actually go for it. Because if there's some walling possible, of course, the scouts and their effectiveness is going to be limited quite soon.
Yeah, that's true. You can only do something if your opponent is not completely walled. Some harassment here from Tim towards the villager, trying to get the boar early on. Oh, boar actually bugging out for the snake here. He's going back, boar not really following.
Hmm.
Kind of ugly for him, will force him into some sheep. Not the worst thing though if you want to go for Drush FC anyways.
Yeah, I'd say so as well. It's fine. Nothing too spectacular in a negative way. Viper has placed his barracks there, by the way, so that's that. And he has straggled 10 gold, so pretty evident what's happening over here. Looking at Vivi's base, for instance, he's also currently trying to wall up, even though he doesn't have the greatest wallable base, as the woodlands are quite far away from each other. Still, he tries to go for that one, fine. Tim, though, is the first one to click up with the Mongols, kinda as expected. And that being said, his base, his setup, what does he want to do? Curious with these three villages, especially. They're gonna build
He's walling the
something.
front. Yeah,
Oh yeah, he's just
it's
walling.
just going to be archers.
Okay.
Kind of weird walls though.
Especially the one that's to the south with the villager there.
Hmm.
Oh
Well,
no, now it makes sense. Okay.
yeah. Well, they are cheaper than the direct ones, but well, he could have had so much better walls overall if he saw everything. Maybe started to house wall a bit too early, but it kind of feels so natural as well. Viper scouts for that, and oh, not going on gold. So that will be scouts from Tim, or maybe he has a barracks. No, it has to be scouts.
Yeah, I was just confused because he has just a single lumber camp then. It's not the most conventional thing, but it happens. And now that he's there, and it's true, it's a stable. It's just scouts here. Interesting choice. Question then is, what is Vivi going to do?
Also scouts. It
Yeah.
will be. It has to be double scouts from them
Uh-huh.
against Stout going scout and Viper going Drush FC. I think that's something that shouldn't really work out for the Frantic boys.
Yeah, it's definitely unconventional and definitely has its disadvantages. Though you never know, maybe it'll catch them off guard, but most likely not. But you never know, you never know. Viper is still not clicked up yet, but he's about to do so very soon.
Yeah, kind of standard.
Hmm.
28 villagers is a reasonable amount. 27 villagers as well, something like that. Depends a bit on if you have deer or not. Vivi now with some harassment. Doubt shouldn't lose a villager here. And well, both going for scouts, kind of as we expected. Nothing too special happening just here after we discovered that Tim is going scout, which is still questionable to me.
Questionable for sure, and why is that? Because now both players, both of their opposite players, are walled up. Doubt has now finished it. The passing gate is being built, and that being said, I fail to see scenarios in which double scouts will be helpful now.
Yeah, and Viper, he sends 4 on gold as well. So that will be mass archers, has enough farms working for himself. No slip ups there. Yeah, he will lose his whole drush. Won't kill a single scout, but is that really. Oh, even kills a scout. That's a small win, somewhat.
Yeah,
And what? But how will that ever be important?
yeah, that's a good question there. We see some chase happening here, at least a tiny bit of a thing that happens here currently in the middle of the map, but just what do they gain from the scout from the double scouts? Probably map control. Okay, but it's a huge map, and then what do they want to go for? What do they want to build up with that one? Doesn't Secret have a decent spot now in which they could pretty much allow themselves to boom or just prepare something bigger and then to strike back from a really comfortable situation?
Yeah, well, boom back, kind of the big question, right?
Hmm.
Mass Crossbowman can maybe do a lot of damage here in Castle Age. I'm not expecting anyone to have any real holds and question will be how well will Doubt support in Castle Age and how aggressively Viper will even start this off. Maybe do they maybe think Portuguese can do something in? Not really, right? Against mass elite Mangudai, so Viper and Doubt, they
Yeah,
kind of need to make something happen in Castle Age.
I think so as well. In the long run, this could be quite of a disadvantage to civilizations, though you never know with Viper and Portuguese. But just realistically speaking, of course, with Mangadai in the long run, could be quite sick. Therefore, you're right. Just doing something in cast stage, but maybe that's the plan. Go for the cast stage and then stay there for a longer period of time and build up the pressure from there. You never know.
It's tricky. Signature range added now. And, well, I'm just expecting a lot of crossbowmen. Doubt is going for wheelbarrow now. Will go for a reasonable castle age timing himself. We will see Vivi with a bit of better resources. It was similar amounts, I'd say. I think we won't see any deciding moves within the next minutes.
Yeah, I fully agree. Vivi is going for the next stage there. That being said, we can assume that he wants to go for some more action very soon as well. Decent amount of villagers on gold for now, but most likely the second stable. There we go. Second stable for Vivi is going up, so pretty much just classical move from scouts into knights with the Slavs. It's actually quite decent. Though with the Slavs, of course, in the long run, quite it depends on the decisions, right? If he wants to engage with the military, if he wants to go for imp later on, and then think of the shift of units, not knights anymore. We'll see. But for now, it's going to be knights from him. And also the other players are going for the next age as well. Speaking of Tim and Dowd.
Oh, but Tim is no doubt is going for the big eco approach. Look at that. Only 5 on gold at the moment, not adding a second stable. That will be 2 extra TCs instantly. On the other side, not even enough stone for 2 TCs for Tim or Vivi. So the secret boys, they will play this very defensively and with the eco approach.
Yeah, 2 different approaches there, and at least we can see something from that one. It would be worse if everyone would just go for the eco approach here, but that's some distinctive move. And you said it's not being able to place TCs, an indication that we won't see that many villagers being produced that early on, meaning that they want to compensate the situation with military production and military efficiency. Now we see it. Vivi is in the next stage, and he's placing his TC there, the only one that he can place now. And that being said, knights are in the making.
And what is Viper going for? He's somewhat in the center of the map, trying to defend Doubt. Not really. I'm a bit surprised by that.
Yeah, and also quite dangerous just to walk around with a couple of crossbowmen like this. I mean, they at least have vodka arrow just now, but quite dangerous to move outside with just a couple of crossbowmen.
Tim, a beautiful house here on the outside, blocking potential crossbowmen positioning themselves behind this wood line. And, well, Viper wanted to move out, is now going back again. It wasn't scary as long as it was only scouts, but now since knights are potentially on the map, they just switched away from that. And Doubt, as I said, only 1 stable, now goes for monastery. They're playing this so defensively. Do they really think that the long game is better for them?
I mean, statistically speaking, we've seen it. They think that, I mean, the statistics tell us that in the long run, it's just better for them, it seems. But then again, really excited to see how this is going to work, because I'm expecting that Vivi at least is not going to have this one, that he's actually going to do something with his army, even though he's not spread out yet. He's just producing the knights, but not utilizing them, interestingly. Therefore, we'll have to wait a little bit more before finding out about this one.
Yeah, well, Viper, he's just going behind Doubt walls for now. Not a lot of kills by them at all. Only the Drush lost, killed 1 scout or maybe 2 scouts. Whew. Very defensive gameplay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the indication of that one was also Vivi getting Loom just a few seconds ago. I mean, happens when you wall up, right? Then, yeah, but that's a clear indication that it's not a fast-paced game for now. Not a lot of action is involved. Vivi now with 3 TCs in total. Just checking out Sim here. Is he getting more TCs now? Yeah, his third TC is in the making. And something else is happening in front of the base of Doubt.
Oh, well, what is
it?
really happening? A scout died and then they need to retreat again, right? Viper's
pretty much.
defending here as well. I'm like, if it was a mirror match, I could absolutely understand this. If they had the better imp civilization, I could understand this. It just feels so weird because it's against Mongols.
Yeah, Yeah, I gotta say, it feels really weird. Especially, yeah, you would expect that Viper would go more aggressively here, but nope, not gonna happen. Looking at the economy also, just villager-wise, Vivi is doing the best currently, but it's not significantly, just 57 villages. And that's that. And as you said, it's any kind of engagement is you lose a scout, you poke a palisade once, and then you retreat, and then you wait a few minutes again.
Yeah. And Viper, he will play this 2TC quote unquote fast imp. Oh, Viper is receiving a
Hmm.
sling from Doubt.
Yeah, I just saw it as well.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, I didn't see that coming. Okay. So Doubt forced TC for him now, and well, he will be stonewalling this up, and he will play this, as we said, very defensively, and then we will have the move out from Viper. This kind of reminds me of the Saltmarsh game earlier before,
yeah.
and Riot's fast Arbalash tech.
I see where you get at. Yeah, it could work in a way that this is, let's say, somehow a move that you can pull off. Then again, the question how successful. It's a really huge map, and Arbalest. I mean, I believe in their strength, especially in numbers, but there are a lot of opportunities for the opponents to actually hurt them. Though Viper is preparing himself, stepping up the numbers. He has 4 archery ranges currently, so the reinforcement rate's quite sick here. 40 military. He's going to be prepared once he moves out. And then the question is, where does he want to go for? Probably he's going to take on the fight against Tim because he's the closest.
Yeah, the closest and obviously the scariest, right? If you
Hmm.
have mass amount of Arbalest and maybe bombard cannons, you're a bit scared of Onagers, or are you scared of the SO from Slavs? Are you scared from Cavaliers? It's kind of tricky to say. So yeah, I'd go with the approach. He's the closest. Viper. He plays very defensively though, because he does not want to lose a single crossman here before they're upgraded.
Hmm. Understandable, understandable. Not really spectacular, but it's definitely understandable. Therefore, we have to wait a little bit more. Currently, Tim is just trying to attack a house here, just for the sake of doing at least something. But also, Tim is going for the Imperial Age here, and he is the Mongols, and we've said it. He is potentially the more dangerous player with the Civ that he has. Therefore, excited to see what the next moves are going to be like on the right hand side of this map.
Oh man, I really fear for Team Secret here. Siege Workshop is going up. Vivi is up any second as well. Keeps on producing. Some Cavaliers will catch at least some crossbowmen off guard. And they now know that the Viper, he's moving out with crossbowmen, isn't really camping with them anymore. They see +2/+1 on them and most likely expect mass Arbalest now. Vivi, he should prepare for a lot of Cavaliers.
Yeah, and now I ask myself how successful is this going to be from Viper? I mean, once again, it's going to be a 2v1 situation. The crossbowmen, soon to be Arbalists, are moving out, by the way. They have Bracer, and hopefully they'll get also chemistry from this point of view. And more archer ranges are being added, by the way, for the Viper, forward archer ranges. And the Arbalists are not directly going for Tim, but we'll see where exactly they want to head to. A castle's being built as well, by the way. A lot of stuff is happening, but also Frantic is going for MPLH, both pairs.
Yeah, both players indeed. We have the honest attack here from Tim, not going for the biggest amount of mango dice. Viper taking the hill control first, and Vivi, he just stays, or he just moved onto mangonels as well? That makes no sense. I think he should just go for mass cavaliers.
Yeah, probably Mass Cavaliers would be better in connection to everything here. But we'll find out. I'm really struggling to see the effectiveness of Viper's move here. Though we have to also keep in mind there are some exposed goals in the long run in the game. So actually, the Arbors are able to get their hands on a couple of villagers. But in this case, in the south, Tim has his villagers saved by a castle, and you see a couple of Arbors are already going down. Not too successful. At the same time, on the left hand side, a couple of more villagers are dying from Vivi here. So that was actually successful from Viper. He didn't lose too many arbors there. He's getting chemistry as well. Doubt is going for impurity as well.
Yeah, they're switching away from the full sling here, as it seems. And Tim is getting chemistry, no onager upgrade just yet. And He's maybe even switching into skirmishers. Mangonel's not grading the greatest shots of Viper's micro here, quite solid, and microing all that down has the hill advantage as well. And obviously his
Great.
incredible micro, killing so many villagers here at the left-hand side. That is quite a nice engagement for him.
Wow, that's absolutely crazy. The mangonels were well done, really calm moves, just moving as much as needed, killing a lot of villagers here for the sake of the castle here. Sick stuff, great value of these arbalists.
Yeah, and well, they're getting more done here behind that as well. And Doughty's switching into Cavaliers as well. All the map control here for Viper. They are now having the hill and having all the control over those stone spots. Maybe soon we see mass bomber tower, mass bomber cannon spam.
Could be possible. Could be possible. At the same time, if he's going for Cavalier and the final upgrade, defensive upgrade, and then just ask myself how it's gonna feel like when Viper is gonna face both Vivi and Tim. Though doubt is there as well. You said it, and it can happen that it's gonna be a more of a 2v2 situation very soon. And that being said, still we have to keep in mind that Viper has a weak economy, by the way.
84 villagers, not that weak if you only go for Arbalest and bombard cannons,
Okay.
but yeah, surely not something where he can allow himself for a big tech switch. Bombard tower is not really an option for him at the moment, so we are kind of counting on Doubt, who has 126 villagers, the Great Eco, to go for Mass Cavaliers.
Indeed. Just now, as we can see, Doubt is also joining the game here. On the left-hand side, his soon-to-be Cavaliers are cleaning up a couple of things here, though also Vivi there. Oh, losing the Onager like this. Just this uphill advantage here on this map design, right, on Mount Fuji that we are. It's just actually an excellent situation for Arbals, actually. I mean, the Onagers are not able to land good hits. That being said, something else must happen, and that is probably Vivi going up on that hill somehow.
Let's take a look if he can somehow achieve that. At the moment it looks like too many Arbalists controlling the tent area. They're getting more stone. Something that I'm not really seeing is setting up of a lot of trades so far. But yeah, Onagers getting sniped. Vivi, he's trying to get more castles up, but losing a lot of villagers in the center. 120 pop for both Frantic players. More like 150, 160 for the secrets.
Exactly. Just also mentioning the fact that Tim is going for some raiding with his Mangadai, soon to be elite Mangadai. He's been able to at least kill a couple of villagers of Viper. That's maybe important because Viper didn't have too many villagers to begin with, but still it's not the hugest difference now that it has been created. Though Tim is now in the north with his Mangadai and is gonna go at these villagers of Doubt. At least a couple of things happening, but the most important thing is what you said, the map control in favor for secrets and tough situation on the center to left hand side.
Oh, Cavaliers now coming in from Vivi, trying to intercept that cast from going up, but enough Cavaliers from Doubt and Arbalest to intercept that and block it off. We see Vivi now needs to move away after losing 2 Cavaliers and a lot of HP here. It's really tricky for them to find good spots to engage now.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just looking what Viper does with his bombard cannons. Just this Mangonel, he didn't even take that serious shot at there, killed it right away, and now he's about to take down the castle of Tim there. So it's just working so much in favor for Viper, this uphill advantage that he currently has.
And then those Arbalists, they're doing enough damage against all the Cavaliers here of the Slavs. Goes for the last upgrade, and soon he has Bomber Towers as well. And then there's simply no stopping Viper with the big hill control here. And I don't think that Vivi really wants to take an engagement here with half his army. Tim, he has Elite Mangudai. Did he find any reasonable engagements? Not really, only some villager kills on the back.
Exactly. Now what is even more needed is reducing the number of military here. The effectiveness of Viper's military is just too much of a sick one. We have this engagement now on the left hand side here with Vivi and Doubt. The Cavaliers are chasing each other, and the Mangadai, not too many that we see. The Arbalists, as you said, doing most of the work, castles being down. This kills Tim and his opportunity to actually pump out more Mangadai, and that's quite grim here for Frantic.
Yeah, only one castle for him indeed, and they wanted to take a good fight here, couldn't really get it. Cannot really get the hill advantage because then they're always fighting in range of the castles as well. Doubt with some more raids here, the gold is super exposed. The push continues with all the hill control. Side go here with the traps not really being efficient, and just the big numbers for Team Secret here. Over 100 military.
Yeah, over 100 military, 6 stuff. The Argers of Doubt being utilized now. The Mega Dice are getting some serious hits from the Onager. And now also in connection with the Bomber Towers of Viper, just making sure that the push that they are going through is also being stabilized by putting more Bomber Towers there. It's just going to make sure that it's going to be too hard for Frantic, or at least extremely hard for Frantic to strike back.
Yeah, well, just an uphill battle, literally, right? Bombard cannons now coming over as well, just focusing down those castles, and that means whole Frantic team is just extremely open. Now tries to go for another counter attack here, but doubt he's just walled in the back. Shouldn't really do too much.
Yeah, just looking at these Mangadai now, it's not, maybe they go through and kill a couple of villagers, but not sure if this is going to be the game changer. Really, but also the army of Vivi is not to be underestimated. If he utilizes it correctly, it could be quite sick. Though not sure how this is going to happen, how this is going to distract Viper at this point, who is the biggest threat still.
Oh, and in doubt with some quick walls here. Let's take a look. Vivi and Tim, they're making a big go. Could kill all the trade. Doubt quick walls here. They won't really matter if you can just pass 3 tiles right of it. And doubt he might lose a lot of his eco. Quite solid military numbers at the moment for Vivi. 66 Cavaliers on the field from him.
Yeah, I didn't expect it, but actually looking quite nice of Secret here, of Frantic, sorry, the push, but Team Secret is there. That is Doubt, currently trying to engage, but he's moving back again. Needs to delete the houses to get rid of the choke points. Unexpected move here from the point of view of Secret. They just didn't expect this one, most likely.
Yeah, but they think, okay, it's completely wall off, we cannot get in there. Actually, they could have just passed into the trade. Are still getting quite a lot of raids in. That is not the greatest engagement here for Vivi. His patrol is just bugging out completely. He cannot fight. Oh god, that was just horrible. So many Mangodais dying before the Cavaliers of Vivi could actually join the fight. That was so ugly for them.
This could have been so much better. Just a single Mangodai now. And, wow. Unfortunate stuff. Therefore, Doubt actually did a great job here. He just held on. So many units of Vivi died. That's the most important thing for now. Military numbers 28, 39 for Team Frantic, 55 for Viper still. Where is he at currently? He's coming close with Arbalest. Just try to determine what else is happening.
Well, he's somewhat pushing with bombard cannons here in the center quite ambitiously, and Doubt now with some Cavalier support. Tim back to 3 castles, could maybe go on to some Mangodais. The trade though still non-existent here for the Frantics, and that really scares me.
That really scares me as well, most importantly because they could actually try to go for it, because currently there's no trade raiding and no attempt to go for a potential raid from the point of view of Secret. That's that, and still I got this slight feeling as if Secret is not pushing any more constantly here. Gives Secret Frantic, sorry, maybe the chance to strike back. You can see it here. Vivi is going forward now on the left hand side. Curious.
Well, it seems like populations are very even, and Portuguese, that's what I said earlier, they are losing in value the longer the game goes. They don't have the Mangodai, they don't have the Sick Cavalier with all the upgrades. It's really tricky for them. They need to rely on bombard cannons and bombard towers. Not the greatest thing in the very long game.
Yeah, so pretty much asking myself, how could this happen? Was it only because of the push of Tim and Vivi inside of Doubt's base that the focus has shifted and the push therefore had to be abandoned of Secret? But now the reality is that, as you said it, the Portuguese and their value gonna get lower and lower.
Well, it's pretty nice if you can have a one-dimensional push, but the map was maybe a bit too open. Skirmisher numbers are a bit too low for Tim though now. Cannot really fight off against all the Arbalists here, and Viper, well, if he gets onto the scary army, he obviously pushes quite quickly. Could get countered though. We didn't see some onagers in quite some time.
Yeah, we didn't. Maybe there's been some kind of situations, it's especially for Vivi and Tim, to be scared of that one because of the downhill disadvantage that they had. Most importantly, also, Doubt is gonna do what I've been talking about at the beginning of the game. Now the transition with the Slavs in the late game. It's not cavalry anymore. Most importantly, it is now the shift into, there we go, soon to be halberdiers, and then I think Siege, Mangonels, Argers will be seen again. But when exactly, we'll see in a few minutes.
Well, that's obviously great if he was facing Cavaliers only, but Tim should just be sending over some of his elite Mangudai and then should be very efficient against that composition. So it sounds good on paper, but maybe not the best team game composition if Tim is getting onto numbers. So far, it looks like his military not really too scary.
But something else is scary, that is Tim on the right hand side has killed a lot of villagers once again of Viper. Viper currently with 60 villagers. And I think now it's quite evident that his economy really is not doing too well, even though the trade is there. That's something really important. Still, I have my doubts now concerning Viper's effectiveness. He still has a huge army. We cannot deny this one. Though I feel that he's quite fragile now if he's being raided successfully.
Yeah, his home base is basically non-existent, or like it could completely die if he won't find an answer to all the Rams, but the answer for the Rams is Cavaliers from Doubt. So yeah, we will take some losses at the front, but it will get cleared up eventually. Still, the scary thing is the big push of the snake in the center of the map.
Yeah, exactly. Quite a crazy situation, and Doubt is not stopping. On the left hand side, he's even dropping another castle just to make sure that his push is successful. Behind the castle, we see the bomber tower of Viper. So Secret is still ambition to take on the push against Vivi.
Oh, but some more raids in the center of the map as well. And that's the problem. Viper and Doubt, they don't have all the map control in the center. Now trying to get it rolling for themselves with some bomber towers, but that's going to be tricky for sure. And well, Mangudai is just so good on that, but population is just going down for Vivi and Tim so much here.
Yeah, that's true. Now it's, I don't want to call it a race who's going to be faster, because I think that Viper, I mean Secret in general, their push currently is more of a dangerous one. Because the Mangadai that could deal with Doubt currently, they're not there because they're utilized in order to raid the trade route. But I think now the impact on the trade route is not as huge as the push of Doubt and Viper.
Yeah, it's just super scary population overall. Viper, yeah, we say he only has 50 villagers, but that means he also has 75 military on the map here and is really pushing quite nicely. Now even goes for coinage and feels like he wants to sling Doubt, who's doing pretty well for himself. He is basically maxed out. He is pushing with Siege Ram, he is pushing with Slav Halberdiers. Pretty solid move by him. No good answer because Mangudais are lacking. GG.
GG, there we go. Wow, that was a interesting matchup here, gotta say. Especially the momentum in which you thought, okay, is Frantic gonna come back from this one? But in the end, Secret, great job.
Yeah, some mistakes I want to point out here from Team Frantic. They did go for a lot of stone walls and stone gates here in few late after they didn't face a lot of army. And that's why their TCs were delayed. The boom wasn't really that quick compared to maybe Doubt, who then went into the beautiful sling. Viper had all the map control, and they saw Arbalest, wanted to go for the counter, and then two players kind of went into Mangonel instead of trying to sling, maybe juggle around a bit, and have one player instead going for onagers.
Exactly, and what in the end was the outcome of these mangonels or onagers? It didn't look too good. It was Viper cleaning up everything in the long run anyway, so that was quite of a harsh and bad decision there from Frantic, for sure.
Yeah, and just realizing how important the hill is on this map on Mount Fuji is just a beautiful map awareness, surely, of Team Secret, and the sling paid off so nicely. And it wasn't a full sling, it was just a let's get map control sling. Lovely adjustment to this map.
Yeah, I'd say so as well. Definitely beautiful to see the upper hill advantages that you can get on this map. Great.
Okay, let's take a look into the achievements then. And, well, we obviously see Viper with quite a nice KD, large army there, did snag so many villagers, did fight off against skirmishers, and even against Cavaliers. He traded quite efficiently.
That's for sure. I'm just checking out further stats here. Vivi with the highest loss here. I mean, he has donated a lot of units there. He had many Cavaliers to begin with. A lot of them died because of, yeah, let's say, unfortunate engagements, especially in the map of, in the base of Doubt, in which Tim was actually not able to engage with his bugged out, or I don't want to know what happened there with his Mangodai there. Was unfortunate, that's for sure. And largest army, not a big surprise, but Viper did it.
Yeah, Viper did it. They also had the trade rolling for themselves out with the best eco in the game. And yeah, he just chilled back, gave 10k resources here, and pretty solid play from the both secret players. And I'm excited to see game number 3, which will be Mongolia.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Okay, then I will type the ready, and we will have just game after game. Guys, you know that it is recorded games, but since we're casting recorded games, we have the beauty of no waiting time in between. And Mongolia, we're kind of expecting Arabian civilizations again.
I'd say so as well, because we've talked about it. This is not the usual Mongolia, but rather open version. And that being said, we're now in the game, and I'll just start right away pointing out. This time we start with Viper on the left hand side with the Malians. His teammate to the south dealt with the Indians. And then on the right hand side, we have Tim in the green color with the Indians as well. And last but not least, Vivi with the Mans as well. Therefore, Indians, Mans, Mirror War.
Indeed, Mirror War. And well, then we don't really need to talk about civilization. We can just talk about the maps. Viper, very close woodline and berries, lovely stuff. Gold, main gold spot kind of exposed, not too great for him. Could have nice defensive gold spots though, so that kind of is at least inviting me to see a Drush FC into plumes here. That lovely map. A deer is going pretty wild at the left hand side. Not really sure what that's up to. Maybe we can get an update there later on. Doubt, defensive gold, defensive wood, and berries. Kind of okay for him.
Yeah, I'd say so as well. Then looking at the other players here, Tim on the right hand side. Okay, this is rather rough one. The front is open. The very side to the front, the golds, well, the southern gold, the main gold is this protectable with some TC walling. The back, in the back, he has his stone at least. Uh, just thinking of this, can be walled with TC walling, but we've seen more beautiful bases so far. Then Vivi here in the north, his base, well, Woodline looking good, crisp, and then his main gold on this hill. I don't like goals partly on that hill, and especially not to the back, but to the front or to the side. Then also Stone on the left hand side, his secondary gold is really not in a good position. That being said, it can be protected the whole front, as he has multiple wood lines to the front. They can be just connected there, and then you can maybe take care of the right hand side of your base and then wall it off completely. Still, I think Viper, for instance, has a rather way more beautiful base comparison.
Yeah, Viper, very compact here. You could maybe make an argument that team walling could actually be pretty good for Frantic, but well, it's not that often that that's really an option in 2v2 Mongolia, at least not this version. So, unlikely they're really going for it. It's more likely to see a lot of aggression coming from them. Maybe Vivi walls off the left hand side and builds his building more towards the right hand side, as you said.
Yeah, most likely. Something else is going to happen, just by the way. Viper is currently stealing a boar here from Vivi. But Vivi's about to spot this one, and he's going to do his best in order to prevent this one from happening. And by the looks of it, well, Viper's still going, being chased by the Eagle. Not sure how this could evolve. The Eagle of Viper currently with 25 HP, but he's about to be inside of his base. Let's say he's halfway through, more than halfway through.
And
Curious how this could evolve.
soon a villager can even take over. So let's take a look about that. Loom now for Tim. Quite a weird timing. Maybe he wants to play something like pop 18, pop 19 or something there with Indians. Not really too sure. Villager needs to shoot and is taking the boar over.
Well
All
done.
good here. Yeah. could have been blocked. Sometimes the ball is going back even though you shoot it once. That's really ugly then. But
Yeah.
Viper, he gets everything done quite nicely for himself.
That's for sure. That was actually beautifully done. Even though I'm kind of confused, maybe you can help me out. While I was watching this and I had my view on Viper's base, I heard a villager death sound or unit death sound, and the KD of Viper is 0-1. So I expect that he somehow lost the villager somewhere. His scout is still alive. This
Well,
happens.
I don't see the
Oh, there I
dead
see.
body either.
On the left hand side, the boy. He forgot about the boy, the skeleton over there. Maybe you spotted it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see
yeah.
it.
It happens. It happens.
It
All
happened,
right.
right? And he didn't move it at all either. Oh, and Vivi now trying to go for the counter lane, but that shouldn't happen. Viper should see it, and I think he should quick wall this off here. And yeah, indeed, the gate is coming, and maybe even a gate
Oh
behind
no.
this.
Oh no.
Viper, oh, he's trying to go for it. No. Oh, that would have been the greatest cage ever. Oy, oy, oy.
For sure. But still, Vivi is trying to do something with the boy, but it's gonna be really tough to go home with that boy. It's wow. If he pulls that one off, I know. Could be quite of a. Ah, nah, it's gone. The boy's gone.
Yeah. Vivi at least scouts a villager on stone, so he knows that this has to be an either Drush FC or a clean FC into plumed archers, and could maybe adjust the strategy to play very aggressively or just go on to plumes himself.
Yeah, true. That's definitely a possibility. Dowd and Tim going for the next age. So with Tim, you asked already, what does he want to pull off with 19 pop or something? Well, for now, it's just 20 villages, and he's producing militia here. He has 2 villages on gold, so it's going to be men at arms by Tim. And not only that one, moving forward with a set of 5 villagers to the front. We all know what's about to happen very soon.
Yeah, doubt. Let's take a look how he defends this off. He has his scout already out there, tries to take some hits against Tim. Has very little idea about the forward though. No, now he sees some militia, so that could be nice for him. No defense yet against any potential towers. Has no vision over that. Could be really ugly for him. Might be forced to his backwood line.
That's for sure. It's actually beautifully done by Tim. The tower will go up unnoticed. I'm taking it back. The house is now being seen, though. That being said, Doubt now has the opportunity to spot this and anticipate and just initiate the moving back from this wood line earlier. But he doesn't. Now he's being surprised. The tower is up. And also the men-at-arms on the left-hand side pressuring the barriers there. So that means, as you said, Doubt needs to move away from the wood line somewhere else.
Okay, just waltz this off. Tim continues with his aggression. Drush might even come over from Vivi. That might actually help out quite a bit. I'm a bit surprised that Vivi didn't click up to castle it yet. Okay, now he does. 1353, that will be one of the later timings. Doubt with the solid defense so far. Did he even scout the backwood line? Yes, he did. Surprised that he isn't moving over there. Goes for the other front one. Okay.
Yeah, maybe in order to save time, he just says, okay, this is too far away, too much idle time. I'll just go for the immediate closest wood line. Of course, it has its own disadvantages.
Well, that obviously could have been really bad if Vivi was to come around with his eagle and his 3 militia, instantly spotting that. For now, it's just the main aggression here into, Doubt's front area. Let's take a look. Is Tim on stone here? Yes, he is in the back. So we should see some more aggressive towers here.
Yeah, most likely gonna happen. Dowd is gonna try to answer. I don't know if I want to call this one answer, but he's producing scouts at least. I'm not sure if it's gonna do too well, but most importantly, Dowd is at least utilizing counter towers, defensive towers here in order to protect his wood line. He's also on stone, but you've spotted something before already. This is Vivi's Drush now, being an unwanted guest for the stone of Dowd, killing a villager there. Really unfortunate situation. So Dowd really under pressure.
Yeah, well, that's still okay-ish for him, right? He got enough stone for another tower, has at least one up there, can just tower defensively close to the stone once he gains some control back. I think he just needs to reinforce with his scouts from the front and then should be able to clear this up. Meanwhile, Viper with a very solid FC there, 1644. Vivi, a bit of a build-up slip here. And we'll have maybe even an 18-minute FC.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, if we look at his kind of wall, this of course required a lot of villager dedication, and not only this one. Now he's even choosing to go for the stone walls on top of this one, just to be extra sure that he's going to be safe. And that being said, of course, Viper's going to go up earlier, and he has some targets, actually, some potential targets to get at. I'm talking about Tim, for instance. He's completely open in comparison, and if Viper was to go there, of course, tough situation.
Oh, first of all, we see Dowd moving in, though, against all the men-at-arms and the spearman here. Tower is going to go up from Tim, and this was a horrible engagement here from Dowd. I have no idea why he thought this could ever be a clever idea. And losing all his scouts, killed maybe 2 men-at-arms. Yeah, both towers are going up, but that was just throwing away so many of his scouts. Oh god, what a misjudgment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, first of all, the scouts were inside of the base of Tim. Then he spotted, okay, there's nothing to go at. This engagement was terrible. That's for sure. And on top of this one, Tim is even able to place more towers. And it has not been stopped at all, this approach by Tim. He's still going to go at it. And the question then is for how long? Probably as long as Viper is not part of the game yet. But he's going to do so. Viper is currently placing a castle and a second TC.
Yeah, Viper is in a fine spot, completely untouched here. I think it should be just Plume against Plume, though, against Vivi. And yeah, he had a bad map, but he will be completely walled up by some more stone. We'll build the castle in front of his gold spot, and then I think Vivi should be finish to protect Tim. And Tim, he is not finished with all his aggression yet.
Not yet at all. I mean, he has all the opportunity. He says, why not? Okay, if I am given the opportunity, I'll just even continue. Currently just making use of the gold of Doubt there. Has placed this mining camp there. Though he should be careful. He's seen it, but the scouts are there in order to get their hands on a villager or two. Well, the men-at-arms also there. Scary enough. Not scary enough. There we go. Finally, the men-at-arms are going down, though also 2 scouts going down. Once again, Doubt is not really doing too well currently.
Well, those were the low HP scouts, so kind of okayish losses. More important thing is that he has no idea that the aggression at the right hand side at his stone is coming in. It will be tricky for him to build a defensive tower. I think Tim and Doubt are kind of out of this game. I think this all comes down Viper against Vivi.
Yeah, I'd say so as well. And speaking of which, Viper now is going out with his plumed archers. Um, that's one thing. We're currently just with fletching though, and then we gotta ask ourselves what the next step is going to be like. Resource-wise, Viper is just completely in cast stage for now, just producing more and more plumes. But he's gonna spot the walls of Vivi and eventually also the castle. And therefore, we've gotta wait until we see the real plumes versus plumes action taking place in this game.
Especially because Vivi is not having fletching yet, so he doesn't really want to move out, is researching it now. And well, some spearmen still staying aggressive. Doubt in some troubles. But just think about it. A single plumed archer coming over there just could do so much. But for both players, right? Tim
Exactly.
can receive a lot against Viper, and Doubt can receive a lot of damage against Vivi.
That's absolutely correct. And that being said, Viper now on the way inside of Tim's base, and soon the stone most likely will be under severe pressure. Therefore, Tim is actually best west to, there we go, delete the parasite walls. Excellent positioning by Viper though, getting his hands on all of the villagers by the looks of it. Terrible situation for Tim here, losing many villagers. Oh yeah, wow, unfortunate.
One gets away there. Tim actually with a perfect reaction kind of could have maybe even deleted some more palisade walls, but Viper, as you said, with a beautiful block there and did get close to every single villager. Now we see some more aggression here from Tim at the front. But Doubt, he is still defending this. He's now up to castle as well. Now the big question is, why is this not a spot to go for a sling?
That's the main question. Maybe Dalt felt so comfortable. I mean, he has so many farms. He definitely didn't want to stay in Fuel Age. And also Tim is able to click up here, by the way, so that's interesting. So both pairs are actually able to pull this one off. No slinging is going to happen, at least no classical slinging, interestingly. Now the question is how successful Vivi is going to be with his initiated intended raid, but it's not too successful by the looks of it. Also, Viper is now joining the game here, all of which just collecting each other inside of the base of that.
2 TCs for Vivi. He has one villager behind at the moment. Clearly needs to get up to 3 TCs. Oh, he's building the one at the front. Military numbers quite behind the Viper has. +2, +1. So pretty even there. Kind of looks like a mirror, both getting wheelbarrow at the same time. This continues to be the important 1v1. Millions against millions.
Yeah, pretty much. Just looking at what is happening inside of Doubt Space still, but not too much. Then on the right-hand side, we see how Vivi tries to protect the base of Tim. And then, yeah, just lots. It's gonna be about the Mayans players, as you said it, various times. And yeah, that being said, let's just compare the facts here. They're so equal, Villager-wise. Viper 64, Vivi 62. Military-wise, though, Viper with a significant advantage in a way that it could either split up his army, protect and being an aggressor, or just use the full force.
I think splitting up could result into unfortunate fights if you fight against higher numbers against Bloom. So keeping them together could be the better option. And that's what both are kind of doing. Vivi now goes for the +2 defense. Let's take a look if he can do more damage against Stout at the moment. The 1000 wood line looks really exposed.
Yeah, they're now in, but the villagers are able to. Oh yeah, just one villager goes down. That's unfortunate. They just space for 5 villagers. And that being said, oh, Doubts, why does he do this? Why does Angerson like this? He just underestimates the situation. Oh, unfortunate.
We thought he could
Oh, man.
maybe get back home. And now we even see a push from the left-hand side here from Tim, who goes on to Ram Camel. Quite interesting. Meanwhile, Viper is up to Imp and Doubt. Is he slinging or is it just not looking too great for him? He is going for more TCs, so I'm expecting no sling. Well, we had some sling from Doubt. Okay.
Yeah, just some sling and also a lot of dead villagers for Doubts. Currently, he's losing more and more. And Vivi actually not really engaging in the fight against Viper, just killing more and more villagers. Oh, so many villagers just dying there. But that being said, this looks quite good for Vivi, though you've also said it, Viper is going for the next stage, and I just checked out the resources of Vivi. He's not going to be able to click up just yet. Therefore, Viper could have a huge momentum in which he could be stronger.
Well, if he had an aggressive castle, that could be really nice for him. And maybe try to trap down some of the ATCs of Vivi, maybe even pressure the castle. That's not really going to happen for now. And that's why I feel Viper, I think he needs to find an angle where he can really be guaranteed to do some damage.
Yeah, that's the question, how to find that angle. That's really the precise spot to apply the pressure. Currently, by the looks of it, he's maneuvering his army from left to the right, so directly into the base of Tim, but he's being welcomed or just meeting up with the army of Vivi here. But number-wise looks better for Viper by a big deal, even though Vivi is now going on the hill here in the middle of the map. So Viper now going back here, Vivi also going for the next stage.
And Vivi, is he switching onto Eagles? He's building a second barracks. Maybe that's only for dumping and he forgot that he already had a barracks. But, oh, even making a mistake here. Left-hand side wanted to build a castle, but it's actually completely blocked off. That's why the villagers are walking, quite unfortunately for him.
Yeah, that's definitely something that unfortunately happens. So just thinking about the next steps here, and Viper indeed still goes for the right-hand side, and he is about to have Bracer, and then he's gonna go for the base of Tim. And then I'm asking myself how successful this is going to be, what the effects of that one is going to be like. Tim, for instance, we've seen it before, constantly pressuring Doubtful left-hand side with Mangonels and Camels.
Yeah, that's kind of ugly for a Doubt, but I think not really the game deciding factor. It all comes down to who gets onto better plumed archer numbers, who gets more castles up, who gets maybe even the rams a bit faster. That feels like could be the next step here. And with a bit better eco, maybe it's better for Vivi. But, well, he needs to get all the imp upgrades first.
Yeah, he needs to get the imp upgrades first. He is at least protected by store walls and most of the parts, just palisades wherever there's a castle. That's kind of fine. I feel that he has enough time actually to go for the attacks, and then he could be even in a more decent. Is he going to be in a more decent position? The thing is, Viper's base is not as protected as the one of Vivi, so maybe that could be a difference in the long run. We'll find out.
Well, Viper is the guy pressuring at the moment, has 20 more population, is having all the plumed archers over at the side of Vivi, so being open isn't the worst thing for him at the moment. He just needs to get some trap aggression and then he should be fine. But look at that, elite plumed archer and chemistry on the way for Vivi, something we can't say for the Viper.
Exactly. Therefore, Viper somehow also anticipating the situation extremely correct here, retreating, not sacrificing his units. And once he sees Elite Plumed Archers kicking in for his opponent, he's definitely going to understand that he needs to do something against that one. And
Oh,
then
Vivi.
just a situation for Vivi in which she could be the aggressor,
Oh,
in theory.
looks like it. Doubt moves out with a lot of villagers, wants to get another TC up here. Could maybe get some villager losses though. Still one tower up, goes for another stable. Mangonel is up as well. Doubt even moves in with villagers here, trying to fight this down at the left hand side. Plumed archers are now clearing this up from the Viper though. He's getting onto the plumed archers. Doubt with a way better boom than Tim. The question is he now switching into Sling? He just got to mark it up as well. Tricky to judge this game.
Yeah, it's definitely tricky to judge this game, but we've seen it correctly by saying Tim and Doubt are taking out each other. But now it feels, as you said, it's that Doubt is somehow gonna have an impact on this game, definitely sooner than Tim. And then again, really curious about the next moves of Vivi here, currently trying to kill a couple of villages in front of Doubt's base. Those are the villages of Viper. Not too effective, though. Most importantly, something has happened here inside of Viper's base. It's not the most fundamental thing, but at least there has been a gap, and therefore maybe Vivi could utilize it in further situations just to pressure his opponent.
Viper will clear this up with his plumes. I think the most important thing simply is who gets onto more ramps now. And it feels like Viper 60 military against 40 military. Well, at least he's ahead in plumed archers. Let's take a look at siege workshops. So we have 2 siege workshops now for Vivi and tech into Captram. Viper on the other side, only 1 siege workshop and already has Captrams.
Exactly. So at least Vivi is trying to go for some kind of push, but Viper seems to be more prepared. And now I'm also thinking of any kind of scenario in which each of these guys are going to meet up at some specific point, because every time I just see how Viper, at least in the end, tries to go to the right hand side again into Tim's base. Just like now.
Tim, yeah, Tim is just getting raided over and over again. Coinage now from Vivi and Viper, so they want to have their teammates up in Imperial Age as well. Now the ramp push through the center. Do we maybe see some more stuff? Viper, he is maybe pulling too much to the right hand side and not allowing himself to defend. Vivi, that's a strong push through the center. Viper not with enough answers.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at the remaining huge part of Viper's army down the right-hand side. They're just moving now towards the base of Vivi. But by the looks of it, you've described correctly. I mean, look at the mess inside of Viper's base now. More of the cap rams incoming. The villages of Viper desperately try to get them down. The castle seems to go down very soon at some point of time because more of the cap rams are approaching. That just seems as if Vivi has a great opportunity here.
It feels like Tim is going for the big sling now. No, Vivi is actually slinging Tim, so that's the other way around. Vivi just feels, okay, I have everything set up. I will even go for siege ram here, and my push will just continue and will be relentless. Even if someone is going to imp camels, they won't be the most scary thing. And let's take a look. Viper with his aggression here at the right hand side. Vivi, just look at how much he wants the Viper not to get in here.
Those walls, man. So many villages, man. Talk about some villager dedication, man. Wow. Great stuff, great stuff. But also Doubt now, going for Imperial Age with skateboarding armor at least, doing something about his camels. He tries to be part of the game, but Vivi inside of Viper's base. Looks quite dark.
Yeah, and splitting more off, 180 pop against 155 at the moment, and more Rams pushing forward. Viper not really having the great answers to the Rams at the moment. Maybe that's why he's requesting Doubt over. Viper's trying to go up for some more clears in the center there, but is that really the most important thing? I feel like more defense in the center was really needed. Viper too late with the siege Rams.
Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. The siege ram tech is gonna kick in a few seconds, in a minute or so. And that being said, still, he is able to deal with the incoming siege of Vivi for now. More siege rams are to be expected. And then at least Viper is able to hold on. Though the damage has been dealt, 70 villages for Viper, 104 for Vivi, and military-wise, still Viper is ahead.
Tim now up to imp as well, so the sling kind of helped him out here. Heavy camel now for Doubt. The question is how much Imperial Camel will really do against that mass amount of elite plumed archer here in the center. Mass ram against mass ram. Now let's take a look. Sometimes Mayan wars are decided by the amount of siege workshops. Viper at the moment with 4, Vivi in the back with only 2 though. That's why his numbers aren't as scary as they could be.
Yeah, what Vivi needs now to... I mean, Vivi actually needs to mess up the numbers of siege rams, as you said it, but he also tries to mix in a couple of trebuchets just to make sure that he gets the castles down. And that's one way of viewing these things. Just make sure that no more elite plumed archers can be produced. Speaking of this, 3 castles for Viper and 4 castles for Vivi so far.
You say 3, I say 2.2 maybe, because one is really under a heavy amount of pressure, but those 3 rams, they probably will get killed. And, well, Viper, he's playing it a bit better, and as I said several times, siege ram numbers are just the most important thing here. Doubt will come over with Imperial Camels as well to help those fights out. Sunday looks way better for Team Secret.
That's it. I mean, the siege rams of Viper are doing some great work here, and eventually will lead to the fact that Viper is going to have the opportunity to get his hands on the enemy plumed archers. Vivi is aware of the situation, now retreating. He's going to lose his trebuchets most likely. And that being said, wow, tough times here for Vivi.
And Viper now with a way better KD here. It's kind of weird that Vivi actually has a worse KD after killing so many villagers of Doubt. So weird, meaning that he took worse engagements than the Viper over and over again. He intercepted the reinforcement quite nicely. Yeah, they still have some annoyance here all over the map, but the ram push is coming in for the snake.
Yeah, I'm just looking how these things are evolving. The castle's gonna go down from Vivi here. And now that the Imperial Camels are part of the mix, as you said it's gonna be tough, especially because Tim tries to go for the same kind of move. But it's gonna be definitely way too late here, at least in comparison. And therefore, really running out of scenarios in my mind in which actually Frantic could get back from this one.
Well, maybe just mass rams again and then take the better fights. He still has enough. They should have enough wood control, castles up. It's really bad that they didn't set up trade. That was what I was kind of questioning in the Mount Fuji game already. So maybe the same mistake twice. At the moment it just looks like plumed archer numbers, or at least the 2 Mayans play are kind of equal, but 40-50 more population for Doubt compared to Tim.
Yeah, you're correct. I'm just completely surprised. Why no trade? Currently looking at Tim, he is at least intending to build some markets. But in comparison to the others, currently they have some trade route there going on already, and therefore big advantage for Team Secret. And not only that one, they're also moving forward. The castle has been taken down. Now the castle is gonna get built by Viper here on that hill to the right of his base, meaning that he's gonna have a more advantageous position to push forward even further. And yeah, just agree with you when you said more siege rams needed by Vivi here to strike back, but is he gonna be able to pull this one off? Because now the Imperial Camels are there as well, therefore little chances.
And Pale Camel tech for Tim as well on the way, but he loses quite a lot of camels before that. And, well, it's just looking more and more tricky for Vivi, who's queuing up quite a bit more. 80 military for him, the Viper at roughly the same numbers. Needs to focus down all the plume darters, and what makes Rams so good is that they can stay in the center here and just soak up so much damage. That's why Viper's retreating over here now as well. Although he has similar plume darter numbers, simply not having any Rams means he cannot fight.
Exactly, he cannot fight, and Tim is getting Imperial Camel's upgrade now, but like I said, it's minutes before, in comparison to Delt, for instance, way too late, and yeah, by the looks of it, just looking way better for Secret still. Even though no more Rams now being seen, the question is if this is even needed at this point. Though he should be careful about his Trebuchets, Viper, because they're the units of Tim. But then again, Tim's units are gone because not too many units that we can see from him. Yeah, doesn't look too good.
Doesn't look too good indeed. Now no more Rams around, 3 traps raining down on those castles here, trying to go for the heavy repair, even, well, only down to 200 stones, so repair will stop pretty soon. No more Ram production at the moment from Vivi, at least not really in the battlefield. We see some shenanigans here at the right hand side, Doubt with a small advantage there as well. And still, I cannot believe how we are in this 52-minute game with so much kind of booming for the 2 mains player and still have no trade for Frantic.
Yeah, I just looked at the facts again. 2 trade cards from Tim, and then versus 22 of Viper and 18 for Delt. Vivi has 0. Yeah, good
The
luck with
question
that
in the
one.
chat, why is Viper not producing any more builds? Well, actually, you only need 60 villagers on wood at this point because you're only building rams and plumed archers. So once we have 60 on wood and 60 trade cards, we are completely fine as a Marion player, and that's what the Viper is going for. So trade card numbers should increase, villager numbers not, and obviously plumed archers should be the go-to unit and the move in here. Doubt even goes for sultans. We still have some more ratings here, and Doubt he's slowly but surely killing Tim as well.
Exactly. Looking at this, the Imperial Camels are going for some important kills, and the biggest issue about that one is from the point of view of Frantic is that Tim is not able to pull this one off. He's not going to able to rate Doubt in the same way, and looking at how this game has evolved, it's GG.
Oh man, and well, Doubt simply with the great boom back here did get onto so many villages, then could sling Viper a bit more onto all those rams. And Vivi, he was so close. I was so sure Frantic would win this one when he killed like a castle at the side, killed some at the front, pressured the main gold spot, but then kind of ran out of steam. 2 siege workshops far behind, and Viper could come back with the mass siege rams and get a W for his team.
Exactly, the siege rams in the end. Why not more siege rams? Why not more siege workshops? Just didn't have enough of them, and in the end, I mean, there was a huge window of opportunity before Dart was even able to go for imp camels. He couldn't make use of that one, and eventually led to the fact that Viper took over, and in the end, Dart could even become a huge force and even strike down Tim.
And that's what he did. 2-1 lead now for Team Secret after Mongolia is in the books. Viper with a way better KD, and that's kind of disappointing that Vivi, yeah, took so many unfortunate fights here. Great amount of largest army. Viper with 100, Vivi with 86 there. That's pretty solid. But, well, we are, I feel like we're sounding like a broken record. It simply came down to the RAM numbers.
To be honest, in the end, exactly. I mean, there's no other way to put it. And yeah, just crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Didn't expect it to be like this. The way the game changed, the siege rams. Also, just looking at the achievements here, the economy stats, for instance. I mean, it's quite impressive that Dowd was able to hold on. I mean, the beginning of the game, Tim was, we have seen it, quite aggressive there. Still, Dowd managed to go up to Castle Age earlier. Then he actually had a decent economy. Food-wise, he did really well. Also went for a little bit of some slinging there. And therefore, quite well done.
Indeed. And, well, game number 4 will be next. It will be played on Chaos Pit. And, well, didn't we see a pretty chaotic game before here? And
Oh,
now I'm curious to see how those are playing it out. I will give the ready, and we will see what they have in store for us. Still, Franks are an option. No more Mongols, though, for Team Secret.
indeed. I just wonder if we're gonna see Koreans again. Could happen.
Well, maybe Byzantines are good. Dowd likes
Yeah.
to play Byzantines as well. Maybe like something like Celts could be another option.
All right. Um, well, there we are, and it's not the map that we've expected, but it's gonna be a salt marsh here. All right. Am I seeing
Okay,
this correctly? Okay. All right. So this is how it should be, I assume. Okay. All right. We'll go with
okay.
that one. I'll just start. I'll just start here. Because I just directly looked at the civilizations when you were talking, and I said, "Wait, something. Wait,
What?
Vikings." Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Something was wrong here. Nevertheless, then starting here, and this time I remembered I started with Viper last time, so I'm starting with Tim in the north. We have him here in the north with the Huns, and then his teammate is Vivi with the Ethiopians, left hand side. Then Team Secret with Delt to the south with the Huns as well, and then Viper on the right hand side with the Vikings.
And isn't that the most beautiful I build 5 walls and can sling to the end of the game map ever here for the Viper? It's so small, so easily wallable. Yeah, well, against ranged units, you're somewhat open,
Yeah.
but if you walled a bit bigger to the right hand side, this could be pretty nice for him as well, protecting some more wood lines in the back. Kind of inviting to seriously.
I mean, this is such a paradise of a map to wall and then to do exactly what you've said. And therefore, I would understand. I would understand. Let's see, the civs still interesting. So Viper has the Vikings. Of course, economy-wise, would be just perfect for that kind of strat. Then we got Hans 2 times, interestingly, and then Ethiopians. So I think decision of Vivi and Tim rather classical in a way that you got excellence archers with the Ethiopians. Vikings though as well, they got a good archery line. Um, Curious to see, of course, how the outcome of this one is going to be like, especially concerning the fact that Viper has this kind of map.
Yeah, and well, we saw earlier that water play is quite important on this one, and Viper, he can go onto longboats. Something that's bothering me a bit is Tim. He cannot really go for proper trade. Look at his corner, cannot build any proper markets there. They didn't show a lot of interest in setting big trades up in the other games, but still, theoretically, kind of unfortunate for them.
Yeah, now that you've mentioned it, definitely could be quite of an unfortunate situation, though. Once again, yeah, we'll see. I would be surprised if they actually go for some trading, some proper trading early on. But we'll have to wait until it goes there. Of course, really looking forward to see some water action, especially you've mentioned Vikings longboats could be nice.
Oh, yeah. Well, for everyone who didn't, no, I don't want to spoil it too much. Well, if you missed the series, it's your bad. There was a Saltmarsh game already in the other series, and it was just so good. We saw demo hits, we saw cannon galleons, we did see harbors from Malay as well. So maybe you want to tune into that series as well, and yeah, give it a good look. Quite entertaining for sure.
Correct, that's definitely worth going for. So just looking at how things are evolving, the scouts are doing their jobs, just scouting basically. Viper tried to be a bit annoying there with the boar attempt, the boar lure, just the innocent boar lure of Tim, I believe it was. And those things just simply happen. Just also looking forward to finding out what each of the players are going to go for. Vivi, for instance, on the left hand side has a villager on gold, currently straddling it, but you never know. Maybe he's going to add a mining camp there. But what's for sure is that he's producing militia currently, and he has the Ethiopian, so mid arms or drush, of course, are quite nice options. And by looks of it, of course, it looks like he's gonna drush it.
Yeah, Rush FC most likely here from Vivi. We have Dowd and Tim going for Scouts, and Rush FC also from the Viper. The only question will be what will he be his follow up. I think just staying onto Crossman and then later going onto Longboats could be really nice for him. He's going for the bigger walls, which I like a lot as well. Dowd, he goes for quite untypical walls for him as well. Zones out quite a big area.
He zones out quite a big area. That sounds actually quite good, but at the same time, how do you want to protect this kind of area like this one? It's gonna take a lot of distance to go for the villagers to reinforce. But well, he does it. He's also placing a barracks there, and like you've said, it's gonna be just scouts from him. Then again, we have the similar situation: how to deal with that one, how successful is going to be your scouts, concerning the fact that the opposite team is going to be walled up. But before this one, we first have to deal with the drush of Vivi.
Oh yeah, and Dowd, okay, now he continues building that palisade, will get his barracks up, and Vivi, he's losing a bit of time. The question is, where will he try to stay active? Is it close to that villager and wants to block the stable? Could be somewhat of an option. Otherwise, the stable most likely will just go up a bit further in the back.
Yeah, that's what's happening currently. Two villagers building the stable here for Doubt. That's pretty much it. Also looking at the other players here, Vivi has finally clicked up. He has 27 villagers, interestingly. And Viper now is clicking up as well, also 27 villagers. And that being said, the Drush still at it. Doubt now has produced a Spearman. Wasn't too successful. Spearman is low HP. And the Villager of Doubt is still under pressure there.
Oh, yeah. Just clicking him away, we'll get up to some scouts and then we'll clear this up, no problems. And Vivi and Viper, they're just going for mass crossbowmen here, most likely. Well, the thing will be Doubt. He will be somewhat exposed. Maybe we will see Doubt under some pressure. Viper, he needs to surely help out his teammate.
Yeah, then we gotta ask ourselves how he wants to do that one. I mean, he has the Vikings, of course. Archers are going to be quite of a useful thing here. Still, we gotta wait because it's still a long, long time until we'll see some help from him. And also on the other side, just looking at what Tim does currently here, he's indeed arriving with his scouts, and then Doubt will be forced to be creative here to deal with that. He has deleted his walls there to the right-hand side next to his stable. Asking myself why he did that. Okay, he's now rebuilding a gate there. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, actually both spots he rebuilds the gates, yeah. Kind of weird for sure. Oh, Militia, they are close to the TC here, taking some hits and Doubt. That was a beautiful move. Look at that. Did a lot of damage against those Militias, now going back here. And, oh, farms up a bit and he's just so good. Keeping very calm under those pressure situations. Walls off the right-hand side, even the stone wall now.
Stone walls. Alright. Interesting. I mean, why not? Just to make sure that he really secures those kind of areas. I like the way how Doubt dealt with the situation. You said correctly, just keep it calm and then push them away, and it has worked. Tim has given up now. He tries to go somewhere else, and that's most likely going to be Viper. And then even more stone walls going up for Doubt, just to make sure that he's definitely going to remain safe there and goes out with his scouts as well.
The thing is, Tim, did he maybe build too many scouts? How many did he go for? 6 here?
Yeah.
It's still okay-ish, I believe. He should have maybe realized that he won't do a lot of damage, but kind of fine. Doubt will be behind stone walls as well here, and another kind of defensive game. A bit of a repeat of Mount Fuji.
Bit of a repeat indeed. Not sure if I like this one. I personally don't like the decision of Tim of going for more scouts. You said it correctly. It's kind of okay-ish. It's not too many, but still a lot, and they're not going to achieve too much unless, of course, something unexpected is going to happen, like a hole somewhere or something. But most likely not, especially considering the fact that Viper has this beautiful base. So really, not sure what these scouts are going to achieve here.
well, not much. As we said, some map control, and he didn't know that he couldn't do more damage against Doubt, right? They were pretty open in the face of Doubt. He just had a very compact, nice defensive map here. They couldn't know about that. Doubt stays at his 3 scouts at the moment, 1 spearman at home, and, well, cast edge timing still pretty damn good for Mr. Tim here. 1953 after building 6 scouts. Quite solid.
Yeah, quite solid. Currently, also now Vivi is moving out with his crossbowmen and his free pikemen. There we go. And he could maybe kill a villager here, but Dowd did well by actually stonewalling himself. Really, it's of course not the most beautiful view, but it keeps you safe, and that's the most important thing, even though he lost the villager there. And yeah, now also about Viper, what does he do? He isn't cast edge, he goes for crossbowman, but Vivi definitely faster in this case.
Oh, obviously, and Ethiopians just transitioned so nicely there. Viper even goes for Bowsaw before Botkin arrow at 1 extra TC on the other side. Vivi, he somehow collected even stone. That's a bit surprising to me. And no extra TC from him as of yet.
Yeah, just double checking everything. Second TC for Viper, exactly. Comparison to Vivi currently. He's placing another TC as well. Okay. And now, really curious to see what's actually happening for the next few minutes because everyone is walled up. And I don't feel that crossbows alone will achieve too much. Now it's about taking over the map control, so to speak, just eliminating all the units in the middle, and that's all. For now, at least.
Eliminating units in the middle, that's what the Viper is doing at the moment. Taking some archers out here. Has +2 attack now. Quite surprised that Vivi isn't trying to micro against this at all. Maybe wants to wait for some knights. Tim, he even goes for the +2 defense. Doesn't make me too happy here, honestly. He won't really need it too much. Think this is a scenario where booming is just so important. Similar again to Mount Fuji.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, with +2, you definitely express that you like the quality over quantity in a situation you estimate as an adequate move. And is it a really adequate move to actually go for some kind of military action for now in a case where everyone is walled up? As you said, it's booming is way more well advised in this case. So not sure though. There are some ambitions from Frantic. Look at this. Vivi is moving out again and again. And also, just worth mentioning, you paid 300 foots in tribute to the Viper. Doubt is going for some kind of slinging here.
I think it was just too many farms. I think this is not a sling. I think this is
Yeah.
just resources that he had over. And is adding 3 TC. So look at how much better. Okay, I will take it back. It's a full sling towards Viper. Who will go Viking Arbalest apparently? That's a weird sling.
Huh. Yeah, indeed. Unexpected moves. 3 TCs and then still donate everything. Okay, I understand. I see. But still strange situation for sure.
And, well, Doubt will probably boom quite solidly behind this. And, well, even keeps his 4 TCs running. So that was actually a sling that isn't sacrificing too much of an eco loss for him.
Yeah, in that way. Yeah, I'd say it can be justified in that way for sure. Now something that's happening here currently on the east of the map, it is both Tim and Vivi now trying to pressure Viper here. Not sure how successful it's going to be because Viper is in decent position defensively speaking. Also, the woodlines are kind of safe from arrow attacks, at least for now.
Yeah, Viper with those bigger walls made it quite nice for him and moves out with the villagers. They have the small eco lead here. Viper shouldn't be too far away from clicking up to him. Still keeps villager production rolling for himself.
Yeah, pretty much like that. And yeah, indeed, Doubt is still giving in more and more of his resources. At the same time, still going for the boom. And looking how things are evolving, I think at least there's a chance now on the right-hand side of Viper's base. The army of Team Frantic is going in, but they're going to face a huge army of Viper as well, 28 military that he has.
Yeah,
So I'm
and the
not sure how.
TC, I think they cannot contest this. Oh, Viper actually pretty late with sending the villagers in. And look at the beautiful move that Dowd is already making. He is having 3 scouts around, scouting this area, wants to see when the double is coming over. And now build a siege blacksmith to have potentially siege workshop to defend off any incoming aggressions. Because he knows, okay, Viper, I have enough trust in you that you will defend this, and they might go for me afterwards.
Exactly. So this is actually a smart and strategic move there, just in case, to make sure that he's going to be protected. I like that one. Still, in the meantime, Dalt gives most of his resources to Viper. Viper is now able to go for the next stage. So now Dalt needs to hold on. And Viper indeed wants to go for more and more Arbalists. That's definitely confirmed now. More archery ranges being placed in front of his base.
Yeah, only makes sense. And then maybe some longboats, and longboats, if they control that center area, they basically control the whole game, right? They could also go for some demos, and then it's pretty much impossible for Tim and or Vivi to take any great engagements. So at the moment, I don't mind a sling to Viking too much, and that might be the first time ever.
To be honest, I fully agree. The longboats, excellent choice, fast, and you said it's a map control in this game would mean everything. Just the design of this whole map, you're just able to position your boats pretty much everywhere in crucial spots of this game, of this whole map. Therefore, definitely possible. Question is if Viper is really going to go for that one. He would be well advised, of course. We'll see how fast, how soon he's going to do it. For now, though, it's going to be Arbalest.
Yeah, well, he needs to get some map control first, otherwise he
Hmm.
cannot really get the docks up. And Dowd continues slinging. We have 3 TCs here for Tim, and he just sacrificed so much into Knight plus 2 defense there, delayed his TCs. Again, similar to Mount Fuji, the transition into the big boom after everyone is walled, not that quickly done from Frantic.
Pretty much just looking at how the situation is evolving here. Dowd is now kind of preparing himself, placing stables instead of his own base. He also, as you said it, just in case he's going to get raided or there's an attempt, protecting himself with a siege workshop, mangonel that he has, and a monk. So Dowd is not going to remain too much in a passive stance. And on top of this one, Viper is now going to the left-hand side with a huge amount of crossbows, soon to be Arbals. There we go, Arbals now with Bracer. And now, curious to see how actually Vivi is going to take on the fight here.
Wow, curious. Huh. Well, you're not the only one there, and Viper is adding the dogs in the back. What is he going for first? Is it maybe some demos? Is it going to be longboats? We will see. The tech choice. Dowd is now clicking up Chimp as well. Has 92 villagers. Quite impressive how good of an eco he has behind this after all this sling. And well, this is. It feels completely like Mount Fuji again. They have,
Hmm.
like, instead of gaining the hill, they gained the water control in this one.
Yeah, that's definitely an accurate analogy there because, yeah, we don't have a hill here, we don't have elevation, but we have the water, and definitely the water is going to be taken over. We see the docks of Viper constantly producing more longboats now. This happened sooner than expected, I gotta be honest. The other players are going for the next stage as well, talking about Vivi, Tim, and also Doubt. Currently, the longboards are trying their best to actually make sure that the enemy units are getting down, though the knights are still engaging there, doing a great job currently because the numbers of longboards not high enough.
Yeah, Viper engaging there a bit too early, getting onto more longboats. Production should be pretty nice for them though. Arbalest in the back, it's still only Castle Age army. And, well, in the back, Vivi is somewhat open. But Viper, he tries to focus over to Tim, who goes on to Mass Cavaliers, kind of as expected.
Yeah, kind of as expected with the hunts that he has in this kind of constellation. The army of Tim now is gone. The remaining knights are retreating. That means that there's enough time for the longbows to take over now to actually show their presence and finally make sure that the water control and the majority of the map is being taken over by Team Secret here. The army of Viper currently in front of Tim's space, as you said, but the Mangonels of Doubt in danger because Vivi is there, has taken down one Mangonel already, and he is determined to take down the second Mangonel of Doubt as well.
Yeah, there shouldn't really be any big hits there from Magnots
Mhm.
against Arbalest. Yeah, we were hoping for it in Mount Fuji as well, but didn't really happen. And well, game kind of stabilized now. We didn't see any big engagements for quite some time. War Galley upgrade now for the Viper, so he is indeed adding some demos. That could be some big hits here against Vivi. He needs to be super aware of all at all times now.
Man, imagine this one. There are a lot of Arbalists, a lot of fragile Arbalists in that concern. And this fight here currently happening in the middle also doesn't look too healthy for Vivi. Best advice to move away now. He needs the help of his teammate. Speaking of which, Tim is attempting to come from the north, but he doesn't have the +4 upgrade yet. He now has it though. He could engage. Numbers don't look too satisfying for Frantic, I'd say, but they're still going at it.
Well, Dowd is missing a bit. He's one screen down below, now coming over here.
Mhm.
We only now see Elite Longbow upgrade and Horse Color as well from Tim. And this is quite a lovely move here, getting all the longbows. Dowd, he was a bit far off. Viper maybe thinking that they were a bit further ahead than they were actually. And, well, maybe should have waited a bit more for Dowd, who's now retreating and taking to Paladins first.
True, true. That was quite a slight miscalculation, but a decisive one. Still, it's not over yet, not by far, because I can see something really beautiful on the right-hand side on the water. Demolition ships, they're just currently waiting there to be utilized. So this is going to be something interesting, but also Team Frantic now moving from the north to the south, and they're approaching the base of Doubt, who's currently trying to protect himself with soon-to-be paladins.
Oh, it's so
You see
tricky.
it,
I
right?
don't want to miss any single demo hit
Mm-hmm.
here. Viper
Uh-oh.
is kind of threatening it. He's going for heavy demos and, well, losing some here.
Ah.
Oh, not with the greatest range. Down now moving in with his paladins. Could maybe get something rolling. Demos, they need to go back. It's getting intense now.
Yeah, intense for sure. Also, the demolition ships were not successful. Nope. Vivi with excellent reaction there. Or?
Well, what?
Oh,
That's at
oh,
least somewhat of a hit. Takes
okay.
8
Nice.
Arbalest with him. Yeah, quite solid. And
Nice.
look at that. Mass elite longbows and mass heavy demos now could be the option. Doubt he just is finishing his paladin upgrade now. And this is going to be so tough for Tim and Vivi to take good fights here against Vikings.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just thought, okay, for a second it looked good for Frantic. Not even for a second, but for a longer period of time. But now that the water is still being reinforced by Viper, which is extremely crucial here, getting careening even. And with the help of Doubt here, consistent push with the Paladins, of course, better than the Cavaliers currently. Looks better for Secrets. And that being said, not sure what the villagers are doing there currently, but yeah, it doesn't look too healthy.
What is Tim up to? I have no idea. He's pushing some in the top, but the Viper isn't really taking care either. Those are quite some heavy losses, but no siege around there, so not really the biggest push. And Vivi, he needs to go back. Paladins are pushing here, and Longboats, they are just wrecking here. No chance for Vivi and Tim to take any good engagements with all that water control here from the Snake.
Pretty much. Looking at the military counts even here, 53 Viper, 47 Doubts, and then 16 Vivi, 26 Tim. Vivi needs way more army, of course. He's the Arbalest player in this case, but he doesn't have the army anymore. The engagement in the middle was really bad here. Of course, Tim was not able to engage here. He has a significantly weaker army now in comparison. And he can just try to win by numbers. He tries to place a castle even to protect his base to the south. Okay, but doesn't look too much of a bright situation for Frantic currently.
Yeah, and I have no idea why Tim is still not onto Paladins. Yeah, he has enough resources now, but his eco wasn't really that sharp early on. Missing Horse Color kind of hindered his eco to go for the big boom. And he just got this castle up, and Doubt says, well, not in my house. I will get that castle down. Viper even tags onto Cannon Galleons. Secret, they will probably go into the finals here.
Yeah, by the looks of it, definitely. The middle is gone from the point of view of Frantic. And Vivi is not going to be able to make the difference, most likely, even though he's adding Halberdiers now. But there are many, many longbows making sure that the Halberdiers at least will be in troubles. And yeah, Cannon Galleons also going to make sure that the buildings are in danger. He can attack from the distance. And there we go. GG.
GG indeed. And well, Doubt and Viper, they're just so good at reading those maps, right? They saw, okay,
Mhm.
this is a wall map. Let's play this super defensively. They analyzed the map quite nicely as well, going for heavy water civilizations. And, well, this is simply a wall up, maybe sling some, get water control, and boom, a lot map. And Tim and Vivi, they played it a bit more Arabia stylish. So
Yeah, I gotta say that's absolutely accurate here. Also, just for the sake of the record here, once again, no trades for Frantic, and not sure that's actually a bold move there to go for the trade that late or not at all in this case. And yeah, treating it like an open kind of map situation, the 2v2, too much of a classical gameplay, maybe even from Frantic. Secret though, as you said, it's super adaptive. The Mount Fuji game, super sick. And now here on this map on Salt Marsh, also once again super sick. Yeah, well deserved, well played. Congratulations, and GLHF for the next one for the Secret.
yeah, that's true. They are going into the finals against Suomi. Let's take a look at the achievements of this game number 4. Military count KD. I saw that in the overlay already. For Vivi, not too pretty.
Not so pretty at all, right? 52 to 172 looks quite one-sided. Gotta be honest. In comparison, Doubt, for instance, 152.39 looks quite nice.
Well, indeed, he did fall back a bit, and then Paladins obviously wrecking Vivi quite heavily there. And, well, trade already starting for the secrets as well. They are just so good in those scenarios, and now I'm really excited for the big